created a legal entity yesterday by name Madras Rubber Factory and MRF. So I've given a short name for it as MRF and given some few details and addresses. Then the time zone and the company location as USA. And then we have given certain contact details as well and a few information which is required. So we gave all that is required, and these are all not mandatory or just a maintainable fields. And yesterday I've also shown you these registration IDs, since you can also give registration IDs for each address, saying you can give you can give tax registration numbers or any other licenses. If it is a food business, you will have food license, or again, if you have any place license, if for constructing a building for that much height, or if you have any other licenses at least in your business, you can give that. Lease license, warehouse licenses, anything, or factory licenses. Sometimes you have pollution and pollution licenses, again you have. So those kind of things, if you have, you can give registration numbers or add registration numbers here. Then today we will discuss about number sequences. It's a step. I'll just give it down here. I'll call this process as generation of number sequences. So I'll explain you the theoretical concept of what is a number sequence, or what do we call as a number sequence in dynamics. Usually in dynamics we have a concept called as number sequence, which gives unique numbers for each transaction that you do. So you might do a lot of activities in your business. As we know, we do many activities in finance modules, as well as supply chain, as well as in trade and logistics and production modules. And in coming to finance, we will do regular day-to-day transactions, like we will post normal journals, expense journals, revenue journals, or purchase orders, invoices, fixed asset transactions. So if we do such transactions, every transaction will have a unique number, and there are number sequences or unique number formats for each and every activity that we do. So this we have to configure firstly. Actually, when I see here in the dynamics, so I'll just walk you through that. Before that, I'll just close this page. Okay. If I close this page again, it will show me that here normally. I'll change it back to my legal entity that we created yesterday. So our legal entity is MRF, right? So I'll change it back to MRF. So now I can see MRF page, or whatever I do now will be related to MRF. Okay. So this concept of number sequences is in every module. Mostly in every module you have number sequences. For posting any transaction, you will definitely need a number sequence or a unique number for the transaction. So why do we use these number sequences, or why do we have unique numbers for every transaction that we do? Any idea, anyone?
The transaction.
What?
To track the transaction.
Exactly, to track the transaction. So to maintain the database, as well as once it is posted and it is saved somewhere, to track that particular transaction, we should have a unique number. So we might be posting 100 transactions today, or 100 expense transactions today, but within that, how you can specify it's a transaction, or how you can specify a single transaction with that can be specified or identified only through the unique number that is associated to that transaction. So it's compulsory, as well as it's much required in business, that you have to maintain proper number sequence formats in order to record your transactions, or to have unique numbers for each of the transactions that you record in the business. So for that purpose, we will generate number sequences here as well. Going forward, we'll create many journals, and for each journal, we will also separately create a number sequence format, or we also call it as a voucher format or voucher numbers format. Any name you can call it as. So here I am generating number sequences for all the modules at a time, wherever it is required. So if I would walk you normally through different modules, I'll go to general ledger module for suppose. Here for general ledger module here. Within this I have ledger setup and general ledger parameters. Everywhere you see this number sequences only in parameters. Okay. So I'm going to general ledger parameters now. Takes a while to load.
Is it like equivalent of ledger folio is what we have in tracking of,
Uh,
but not same.
so everything have a number here. The accounts that you create does have unique numbers. The transactions that you post does have unique numbers. Okay, you also create purchase orders which have unique numbers. You have again invoices which have unique numbers, and transactions related to invoices will have unique numbers. So everything will have its unique format. So if you design your formats in such a way that whenever you look at the voucher number, you can identify what kind of transaction it is. I'll tell you how to frame that. It's a requirement in business usually. When I get to that point, when we have to create a journal and then assign a voucher number to that journal, I'll tell you how to design a voucher number. Okay, how you can structureize unique voucher number such that when we post transactions, that kind of voucher number will be picked in, and it's easy to identify what kind of a transaction it is looking at that voucher number. Okay, so if I go to number sequences, usually here in this general ledger, I can see all of these are empty. Okay, so these number sequences, these are for different purposes. As you can see here, journal batch number is for a purpose. This trace number transaction reversal is for a purpose. This transaction reversal is whenever you reverse any transaction that you post, it will take number sequence or voucher number from here, the unique number from here. In the same way, we have different number sequences for different activities. So these are all empty here. You can manually create one by one and assign it here. But rather than creating them manually for each module, again for each number sequence one by one, you can directly generate for all over the module, all the modules once at one time. So that's what we are going to do today. Generation of number sequences for all the modules at a time. So this is simply an example of general ledger. I'll again walk you through accounts payable module. In accounts payable module under setup again, I have accounts payable parameters. So in parameters, I have number sequences usually. Just click on parameters. We'll discuss about everything again, but just to show you how it will work, this generation of number sequences, how it will work, I am just showing you the empty fields first. Later it will be filled automatically once we generate number sequences. So herein we have number sequences as you see, and all of them are empty here. We don't have any number sequence filled in. All of them are empty. Okay, we don't even have something to select. No, we don't even have something to select. So as I am saying, if we generate number sequences, all of these will be filled up automatically. System will generate the number sequences automatically, frame them for us, and will insert them in the designated places automatically. So it will be in every module. So 1 second, guys. I'll just add him into this call. Sorry. I'm not sure where he is. Can someone try to add Vishwa? Can you please add him in the call? Vishwa, you there?
Sir, I want to open my laptop. Please, I can't see.
What? What happened, Shiva?
I want to see in laptop side. That's why.
Okay, no problem. That's okay. Get back to the point.
Yeah.
Then, so it's in this module, accounts payable. Again, in the same manner, in accounts receivable module, in further modules, in under parameters, you will definitely have empty number sequences for now. So in cash and bank, now I'm here. Again, in cash and bank under setup, I have cash and bank parameters. So always parameters are under setup only. So in parameters, I'll have number sequences. Always number sequences are also under parameters only. Okay. So I see all of them are empty. Now we will generate number sequences for all over the company at a time such that all these modules will be filled up with number sequence codes here in these places. So how can we do that? We will see now. So you understood right now the purpose of number sequences as well as the action that we are going to perform now. Anyone have any doubts in this one until here? Sairam?
No, no.
No? Okay. All right, then we'll come back to this page once again once we generate the number sequences. First, let us see how we can generate the number sequences. So in order to generate the number sequences, this is an action to be performed again from organization administration module. So we have seen it yesterday, organization administration. We'll again see it today here. We have organization administration and we have number sequences and again number sequences here. 1, 2, 3. Mostly in Dynamics, you will have 3-step navigation only 3 steps, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you will have 4 steps. That's all. So here, as you can see, organization administration, number sequences and number sequences. It's a 3-step navigation. Just write down the navigation so that it will be helpful for you for further reference. So if I click on number sequences here, it will take me to a page where there were already number sequences that are created for different legal entities which were already there in this organization or in this environment. Okay, we have to generate it for our new legal entity that we have created today. So I only have one new legal entity, one new legal entity for which number sequence are not generated yet, and that is only MRF. For the remaining all legal entities I have generated already. So for this, let us generate now. So if I click here on generate, as you can see here, this one under new we have generate option. Write down the steps again. So once after navigating from organization administration, number sequences, you have to click on generate here. So if I click on generate, it takes time since it have to frame up all the number sequences and load them. It takes a while, and after that you can load it. It's a 3-step process actually. I'll show you. First you have to click on generate. System will take some time since it have to design all the number sequences for all the modules. And once after the number sequences are all designed and generated, we can go for next, and it will finish the task. So until it gets generated, so if anybody have any doubts, we can ask, or any questions you can ask regarding this topic.
When it comes to this number sequencing, are there any standards like, any kind of legal things where we have to do it only in a particular way?
Actually, there are no legal things that guide, but it's about client's requirement. If client want a separate format, unique format, and you have to work on those number sequences in that format, or you have to design them according to that particular format. Okay, like client will ask you, my company name should come first, later the transaction name. I mean, if it is a revenue journal, it should come as revenue, and later the number should come, the voucher number. So in this way, you can, if they want you to design in that way, you can design in that way. I'll show you how to design each number sequence. Okay, legal requirement. Yes, there is a legal requirement in certain countries, as I can say in certain European countries like Italy, where it should be always continuous number sequence. So there is a concept called as continuous and manual or non-continuous numbers, wherein usually vouchers will come in continuous numbers, 1 next 2 next 3 like that. So in Italy, you should compulsorily maintain this continuous sequence. Whereas in other countries, it's not so compulsory. You can maintain any numbers, you can miss some numbers in between, but it will again be a hectic task for auditors to identify why we missed that numbers, or is there any data corruption. Again, that kind of thoughts will come. Okay.
Auditors as in like the internal auditors or like external
No,
auditors?
the internal auditors in your business. Okay. Once you internal auditors are clear with that, then the external thing will come into picture. Okay. So once I generated on that number sequence, see, it took me to this step where it is saying welcome wizard. So I have few steps here to do. Then there is nothing to do here. Just click next here in this. Again, once I click on next, it will show me the number sequences that it have generated for me. I can see these number sequences here. It starts with MRF and it is almost 6 digits. I can see this hashes indicates digits, which means the first or smallest number is 1 and the largest number in the 6 digits is 999999. You know, this will be the largest number. So in this format, it takes the numbers as it is indicating. For this is for accounts payable, and again, if we scroll down, we can see the number sequences generated for accounts receivable module as well. So actually, it's taking some time, but it will have accounts receivable as well as general ledger as well as tax module. Every module it will have. Well, what's there is something wrong with my system. Right. Here you can see accounts receivable. Now you can see bank, bills of materials, which is supply chain module, then budget module, general ledger, human resources. For all modules, it will automatically generate number sequences. Most of them will be in the same format. Later, once after generation, if you want to change the format, you can change it then. Okay. So there's nothing to do here even. You just have to look into this and click on next. You can see next here. And it indicates, it just gives the statistics of how many number sequences are being created for each module. You can see for accounts receivable, there were almost 68, and for receivables 63. And for each module, there were certain number of number sequences being created, and you can see that count here. So once after clicking next 2 times, and you can click on finish here. Okay. If you click finish, it will insert those number sequences that it created automatically into designated modules. Now it is done. So now the task is completed. I can go and check it. So I'll just duplicate this tab. So to duplicate this tab, just right click here and click on duplicate. It will open the same tab once again on the same page as well. So here. Now I will go to general ledger module again to show you if the number sequences are inserted or not. So I'll go to general ledger module here. Go to ledger setup and general ledger parameters here to check again if at all the number sequences are inserted properly or not. So here in this I have number sequences. Now you see all of them are filled up automatically, and it took unique number sequence for each of them separately. Everything you have unique numbers. So this have unique number, this have unique number. So how do we can check is we can double click on this. Actually, once you see the blue color link, you can double click and it will take you to that number sequence. So this is how a number sequence format look like usually. So here company name and constant is not there, but numbers are there. So it will come in this format. MRF as well as 00001 will be the next. In the same way, this 999 will be the last number, last voucher number. If you want, you can increase the numbers also. You can keep more than 60, more than 6, as I would say, more than 6 numerics. So here also you can keep more than 6 hashes. I'll separately explain you how to design this number sequence format individually. I mean, how to design or what are the different features available in this and configurations in this, how it will work and all. I'll explain you again in another class. For now, just concentrate on generating the number sequences and that they are getting inserted into every module. So you don't have to check again, but just for sake, you can check one module at least to see if the number sequence are filled up automatically. So we have seen here in general ledger, it is filled up. If I see accounts payable and accounts receivable also, they will be filled up. So I go to accounts payable. So I have parameters under setup here. Under setup, I have accounts payable parameters, as you can see. If I click here, I can see here. So all of them are filled. Okay. So these are for all of them are for separate purposes. This vendor account is for a separate purpose. For whenever we create a vendor account, number will be taken from here. So vendor number 1, vendor number 2, vendor number 3, like that. So you can design it again inside. You can change in which format it should appear, you can change and that I'll show you in the later class. As I told you, we'll come to that point where we can create a unique number sequence and how to design that number sequence. I'll explain you at that time. For now, we have created we have generated the number sequence, and this is all the process of generation of number sequences. So for every module, number sequences we have generated and filled up automatically. There is no confusion in that. So let me know if any confusion or if you want me to repeat once again. Anyone? Chaitanya, Sairam, Bala.
Can you repeat once again?
No.
No.
Which concept?
I mean,
Oh, somebody.
yeah.
Yeah, tell me. Bala.
Yeah.
So, okay, what went wrong? Any exact doubt what you have?
I don't know why, but your voice is cracking like at few places. Whether the problem is at my end or like I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's at your end. Your voice is also not so much clear.
Acha, then
Adjust
Hello,
adjust your Wi-Fi, okay?
Jayaprakash. No. That's correct. What he is saying, Bala is saying correct. Your voice is not getting proper.
Okay.
it's just that
Oh,
today
I'm
only
sorry
I'm
then.
experiencing it.
From when you have this issue? From the starting, from the beginning?
No,
Start.
Jayaprakash. Just recently, in between only it came. Okay. Right now it is
Okay.
okay.
How is it now?
In,
Is it
yeah, it's good. Right now it's good.
it is okay, right? Okay.
JP, can
Okay.
you
Anyone else have any? Yes.
uh, can you like I missed the track in the first instance, like how to create that number sequencing, you know? Can you come in?
No,
Like,
no problem. You have to go to organization administration as a thing,
yeah,
then number sequences and click on number sequences. Okay.
okay,
If you click on number, you have to click on generate. Once you click on generate, it will take some time to generate the number sequences. After that, it will show you 3 windows. You have to click next, and finish.
okay.
Gen generate the number sequences and insert them back into different modules. As I have told you, in each module under number parameters, you will find number sequences. There it will insert all the required number sequences. So you
Okay.
guys can hear me properly now, right? Saideep,
Yes.
Bala. Okay.
Somewhat
I think
better.
there is a
So I
connection
was
problem.
saying like at my end,
In between, it is little echoing suddenly.
echo or echo or
It
there is a
sounds like
disturb
robotic.
voice.
It is sounding like robotic.
Robotic.
Like
Okay. So
that
I
geek,
okay.
What?
that
There's
geek
a
sound.
break in voice.
Break in my voice. Okay.
Yeah. Break.
Okay. I don't see that I don't have a trouble with my Wi-Fi. It's working fine, but I think I have to adjust it maybe. Is it if for now is it okay?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah,
Oh,
right now it is okay.
okay then that's all the concept of generation of number sequence. Actually, those are the steps you have to follow. And as I told you, number sequence are used for unique activities. So it's a for each number sequence or each activity or transaction that we do in business does have unique ID, which is a number sequence or voucher ID, what we call. And we will work because we have to create a lot of transactions, right? So we will work on them and we will see how the number sequence mechanism works in real time or while doing transactions later. Okay. Since this is a step that we have to do in organization administration, I have told you with the legal entity creation itself. So you can also generate them later after 4 or 5 classes also, but better you generate it in the first instance itself. Okay. So work on this and let me know if you face any trouble while you generate number sequences in your system. Okay. If you are clear with
Now again,
this
it's
topic or good with this, something. Bala చెప్పండి. Voice is
again. I
breaking
think there
again.
seems to be some
Your
issues
voice is
with
not audible actually.
us.
1 second, then I'll just change my connection. Okay. I'm so sorry for that. Voice ping. Thanks. Then I'll connect my mobile data. How about now?
Now it's perfect.
Is it perfect now? All of you?
At least for now, it is good.
Okay. Right then. So,
Maybe
right.
because maybe it is causing all these things issues. I think
Because of
rain, maybe.
maybe possibly. So Wi-Fi gets slowed down when it rains, you know. Okay, as I was saying, if you are clear with this topic that we have discussed, we will go for another topic today. Calendars. We'll get an introduction of calendars today, and we'll continue discussing this one today and tomorrow as well. Okay. So, can anybody say what is the significance of calendars in business? Why do we need a calendar?
Again, for tracking purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Financial
One important
years.
reason.
Yeah, for the financial year transactions, like year to year, these things will be done in this calendar.
Okay. One more point. And anything
Quarterly,
else?
quarterly.
Yes. So his point is also right. Quarterly or to maintain periods or data in periods. Perfect. And
Ending report.
of course, for preparation of reports, it's very important for preparation of reports. Good. So as everyone said, few points, all of them are correct. Calendars are much needed for maintaining the transactions. I mean, has a unique date for each transaction that we record. And moreover, every company will have a specific fiscal year and fiscal periods defined on the basis of which they will maintain their data, as well as they will use these periods to record the transactions as well as to close the periods to stop the users from recording the transactions in those periods, as well as at the end of certain period to extract the data or to prepare the reports basing upon that particular fiscal periods we design. So calendars are most useful in every aspect of business, and without a calendar, you cannot do any transactions in transaction in Dynamics. And without following a calendar, no business will run or no business will do any transactions. Okay. So then, anybody have any idea about what is a fiscal calendar? Anyone? Any idea? Just a definition or overview of your understanding about a fiscal calendar.
It is a financial calendar, like
Okay. It's a financial calendar, as I said. No, it's not financial calendar. Fiscal calendar is used for every activity other, I mean, including finance. So fiscal calendar is usually are the calendars upon which your business works, or which calendar pattern that your business is following. As I would say, in India, usually fiscal calendar or fiscal years start from April 1st to March 31st. So whereas when you go to US, their business starts from their pattern of calendar is from 1st of January to 31st of December. Okay. So which calendar pattern you want to follow will be the fiscal calendar in your company. So we usually call the calendars that we follow in the legal entity as fiscal calendars in terminology of Dynamics, as well as outside also you'll call it fiscal calendar only. What is the fiscal calendar structure of the company? They will ask you the question. As you can say, they're they're following it starting from April 1st to ending of March 31st, which is called a fiscal year in business perspective in India. Usually it changes from company to company, country to country, it changes. So what all the authorities will follow, companies usually follow the same. When it comes to US, they'll follow January to December pattern. When it's come to China, they'll follow, few of them will follow from July 1st to June 30th. So their calendar year starts from July 1st and ends with June 30 in businesses. So that's what we call as a fiscal year actually. So where it starts and where it ends, we call it as fiscal year. And the calendar which holds all these years is called fiscal calendar. So now I can create a fiscal calendar for you, and I'll show you how to create a fiscal calendar for a legal entity, or what could be the requirement of the clients in the business, how they ask about fiscal calendars or how they want to maintain fiscal calendars, and what are the different options Dynamics provides you to design calendars or to meet the different business scenarios that client might have in their business. I'll explain you all of them. Okay. So we also have a concept of ledger calendar in Dynamics. Ledger calendar is not entirely about calendar and all. It's about certain permissions and all. We will discuss that ledger calendar. It's a topic, a new topic out of general topics. So we will discuss this once after we complete the fiscal calendar topic. Fine. Getting back to the configuration part, so we'll see. So does anybody have any confusion in this? What is meant by fiscal calendar or why it is required in business? No.
So why the Chinese will keep that July 1st to June,
It,
June 30?
it's their local authorities, or if they would follow that pattern, they will follow that year. So it's not mandatory that every Chinese person will follow, Chinese business will follow the same pattern. It differs. In India, normally we follow from April 1st to March 31st because our authorities will have, or our companies act or our tax act will follow this calendar year only usually. So in order to sync with all of them, we follow the same year. So to report your taxes or to file your taxes or to get your accounts audited. So for all these things, you have the same year, right? So you'll follow this. It changes from authority to authority in different countries again.
So
Okay.
will there be any clash between this fiscal calendar and normal calendar that we follow actually? Not exactly clash, but in terms of conflict of.
No. See, if you have a Indian legal entity and if you have a US legal entity, both of them are separate. And if you want to follow two different calendar structures for two legal entities, then you have to design two different calendars. Okay. And if you have all of them are Indian located companies only, suppose you have 10 legal entities and 10 of them are India based only, and all of them have to follow same calendar pattern, then you can design a single calendar and assign it to all the companies or all the legal entities. You can use that single calendar. But within your organization, if you have multiple legal entities from different countries, then you have to design separate calendars. Okay.
And just to reflect the respective countries' requirements, we'll be creating separate calendars.
Yes, separate calendars. Yes. For creating calendars, again, you have to know how to create a calendar and different options available. Once you understand that, then you will get to the point. So how in any way you can design a calendar in Dynamics. Okay. So let's see how we can design a fiscal calendar in Dynamics. So here you have to open your legal entity that you are in. So it's calendars is a global page. Actually, if you open from any legal entity, it will take you to the same page where calendars are available. But I recommend you go for your legal entity, open your legal entity here, then go for general ledger. In general ledger, you have two places where you can find calendars, but I'll take you to the usual page. You have calendars menu and you have fiscal calendars. General ledger, calendars, and fiscal calendars. You can also see the same here, fiscal calendars. It's under period close, but that's okay. You follow this navigation. It will take you to the same page. Both of them will lead you to the same page, but write down this navigation: general ledger, calendars, and fiscal calendars. So if I click here on fiscal calendars, see I have a lot of calendars here in my, as I would say, in this organization, I have multiple calendars. So I have all of them here. I have created multiple calendars, one for each legal entity, and or else few legal entities share the calendar or use the same calendar. So for our legal entity MRF, we will create our own calendar. Okay, in order to create a new calendar, you have to click here on new calendar. So once you navigate to general ledger, calendars, and fiscal calendar, you have to click on new calendar here. So give a name to your calendar. What name you want to give? I want to give it as just MRF calendar. I can call it as MRF calendar. Just give a description. So this one accepts few characters only. Okay, let me see if it accepts also. No, see, it is accepting only until calendar, and it does not accept another character. It's limited. But this one description accepts more characters than this field. Okay, just give a short name here and give a detailed name here. Then here is the important part. So from which date to which date your fiscal year starts, where your fiscal year starts and which date your fiscal year ends, that you have to give here. So either it starts from 1st of January and ends with 31st December, or if you want it to start from 1st of April and end with 31st of March, or again, as I said earlier, July 1st to June 30, everything you can decide here. So when did your calendar year should start? So what is your idea? So I want to start it from 1st of January to 31st of December. If you want to change the dates, like from April 1st to March 31st, you can do it like this. Click on April, select April 1st, go back here. So April 1st, 2021 to March 31st, 2022, right? So you can also change the year by clicking here. Just come down, select the year, March, right? So select March and March 31st. So in this way you can give. I'll tell you more scenarios, just understand the basic first. So this is how you can give whatever year you want on whatever date to start from and to end the fiscal year from. So again, I want to maintain it from normally I can maintain it in this way also, or I can start it from 1st of January to December 31st. I'll go for that pattern, January 1st to December 2021. Okay, 31st December 2021, 1st of January to 31st December 2021. Okay, the name of the fiscal year, it took 2021 by default. I can also give it as just like this, FY 2021, fiscal year 2021. Okay, so any confusion until here, this part? Anyone? Giving dates or giving names? No, right?
No, sir.
Okay, okay, cool. So then the next and important concept here, how do you want to give you periods in your calendar? Do you want to maintain a monthly calendar or a daily calendar or an yearly calendar? So what happens monthly means, as I would say, how do you want to divide periods in your calendar year? So this is a calendar year which starts from 1st of January to 31st of December, as we said it as a fiscal year. So how do you want to divide periods in this fiscal year? On monthly or quarterly or weekly or daily or yearly? Which basis you want? Honestly, if I see here, I have three options only: days, months, and years. But still, we can use the same for dividing them on basis of quarterly and weekly also. I'll show you later how we can divide them quarterly and weekly. But here we have certain options: days, months, and years. So I'll use months. Okay. We'll also use the other ones next in the next year, just for an example. And here you can see length of the period. So length of the period I gave as 1. So for each 1 month, I want a separate period, as I'm saying the system. For each 1 month, I want separate. Suppose if you want for quarter, you can say 3. For each 3 months, it will divide as a period. So starting from January 1st to 31st of March is a quarter, right? So for that quarter, it will divide as a period. If I say 1 means for each month, which means starting from 1st of January to 31st of January, 1 period. February 1st to February 28th, second period. March 1st to March 31st, third period. Like that, it will divide it into 12 periods. 12 months, 12 periods, as well as we'll have 2 additional periods. I'll show you what are they. So this is how this mechanism works: the length of period and the unit you have to select. So I am selecting months. We will also select the days and years, and I'll show you how it works later. So for now, I'm selecting months and I'm clicking on create. So before I click create, any confusion until here? Anyone?
Just trying to understand more about length of period. I mean, and
I'll show you. We'll use more examples. Okay. So for now, just understand I'm selecting months and given 1, which means I'm trying to give the condition to the system that divide my year that I have given. 12 months I have given, right? So all those months should be divided on monthly basis. Each month should be divided as a period in calendar. So I click on create here, as you see. So it changed here. Yeah, my calendar is selected MRF calendar. You can also select other calendars if you want, but we will work on this calendar, right? I'll select this calendar here. So this is the first year we have in the calendar, fiscal year 2021 to, I mean, starting from January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. So I can see the calendar code and name, description, and then I can see the fiscal year name, fiscal year 2021, starting date and end date. Then here I can see monthly periods. So I have one operating period, one closing period at the end, and 12 operating periods: opening, operating, and closing. We have 3 types. I'll tell you the significance of each period as well, but just understand, leave about this period's opening period. It is just from start date January 1st to end date January 1st only. This is usually used to carry forward the balances from the previous years. Actually, if you have any previous balances that you have to bring into Dynamics and you are starting your business from this year in Dynamics, so those previous existing balances will be carried forward to this particular opening period usually. Not only in starting the business, usually when you run the year-end closure process, you will close your yearbooks right to the next year. So those carried forward balances will be brought into this opening period. So apart from this, you have operating period here, which starts from 1st of January to 31st of January, which is first month, period 1. So period 2 is from 1st of February to 28th of February, month number 2. Third one, 1st March to 31st March. In the same manner, you have 12 operating periods, which 12th period is from December 1st to December 31st. And you have this 13th period, which is from which is only on the date of last day. So if you have any closing adjustments or any transfer of balances before you transfer it to the next year, you can make in this period. Okay. So as you can see, it exactly divided the year into 12 equal parts, operating period, 12 equal operating periods, and this opening and closing will be every time it will appear regardless of whatever units you select for division of this calendar, it will appear. So you look into this one. So it divided on basis of monthly because we gave month and one as the unit length, unit and period length. So that's how it creates usually the year. I mean on the basis of monthly. So I want to add one more year to this calendar. Okay, how do I add one more year? See, I have created 2021 here. If I want to add one more year, I'll click here on new year, not new calendar. It will create an entirely new calendar if you click on new calendar. Please click on new year. Okay. Then you can see here the new year starts from again 1st January 2022 until 31st December 2022. And you can give it the name again as fiscal year 2022. Copy from last fiscal year. You can see an option here. If I disable this, I can see this one. Months and one. If I say copy from last fiscal year means last fiscal year we have selected this pattern, right? Month and one. So it will select the same. If you want to change it, you can change it here. Fine. If you want to change it from months to years, usually you can change it to year. So for entire year, it will create a single operating period. Here we have 12 operating periods, right? So on the basis of each month, if I select year means it will create single operating period from starting from 1st of January to 31st of December. So let me click on create now. I selected period length 1 and year. So you can see here there is only one operating period, one closing period, one opening period, one closing period, and only one operating period, which is starting from 1st January to 31st December. Forget about the year. So that's how system works, as I was saying you. 1st January to 31st December, it will create a single period. What if we select days? Any idea what if we select days? Sidhu?
Yes.
So if I create a new year once again, and if I
Okay.
select days other than year and select as one.
Okay.
So I'll select this and say select length of period 1 and select days. So then what happens here? Any idea?
It's like it will be 1 year, like
Vamshi, you have any idea? So we have selected months and we have seen the year is divided into 12 operating periods. When I have selected year, it is divided into single operating period for whole year. So in case if I select days and each day single 1 day here, so what will happen?
Probably we'll get 365 operating days and 2
Yes,
opening days.
we'll have 365 operating periods and one operating, one closing. Those are common all the time. Okay. Let me show you how it creates. I'll just click on create here. So 2023 also created. I just forgot to give the fiscal year. I mean, add the fiscal year. No one, don't mind that. See here, you have period. Sorry, period number 0 in the top, which is opening period. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4. For each date, you have a operating period. 1st of January, you have operating. 2nd of January, you have operating. 3rd of January, you have operating. In the same manner, you have 365 operating periods. If it is a leap year, you will have 366 operating periods. Okay, if I scroll down, I can see all of them. For each day, I have an operating period. So this is how usually you can use these features available to design a calendar. So client might ask you for monthly calendar. Most of them will have monthly calendar only, which is that we have created here in the first one. 12 periods, 12 operating periods, plus additionally one opening and one closing period. So totally 14 periods. If I select as year, as you have seen it already, one opening, one closing, operating period is only for the entire year. For first starting date to end date will be the operating period, only one period. Whereas I select days, see here 365 periods are created. So it's up to the client how they want to maintain the calendar periods as within the calendar year, how they want to maintain their periods as. If they want to maintain it as monthly, you can give condition like this one for this. If they want it yearly, you can give it like this here. Daily, you can give it like this here. All right. Any confusion in this, Vamshi or Bala, anyone?
This
Sir, one
assume-
second, you can, the dates, the dates is problem, confusing, opening to period of closing, sir. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll go back to this one.
Yeah,
One
we'll
more
g-
question.
Yeah, we'll be getting 1 month as extra, right? From period 0 to period 13. Like one will be in ideal something like that, right?
No. It's not extra. We have two additional periods:
Okay.
opening period and closing period. So opening
Yes.
period is only for starting date, 1st of January to 1st of January only. But that's, as I said, that the purpose of that is only to bring the opening balances into the system. Okay. But
That means like in from January to January, and the calculation will be done in the extra 13th month, right? 13th period, right?
I did not get you. Let
Yeah,
me
like
explain you and ask the
oh,
question once again. Okay.
yeah, sure.
So this period is used to bring the previous year balances or to carry forward the previous year balances into this particular date. Whenever I transfer balances from 2021 to 2022, they will be transferred to first day of 2022 only. So this is the same. If I am transferring balances from 2020, they will be transferred to the first day of 2020, and it is here opening balances as we call it, Chaitanya said. And again, you can record normal day-to-day transactions starting from this operating period. So system will not look into all these things. So if whatever date you give there, when you record the transaction, it will put the transaction in that particular period. But we have certain conditions that we can close certain periods, or we can, if this month, if we close this period, January 1st, there is option in ledger calendar. If I close that period, no user can post transactions in the dates included in that period. So in that manner, I can design my periods. How often you will close your periods? How often you want to restrict your users from posting the transactions in those periods? As I say, I do monthly transactions. At the end of each month, I'll reconcile all of the transactions and I'll close that month, or I'll keep that month on hold, which means I don't allow my users again to post transactions in the past dates. I want them to post on from today's days or in this particular month rather than posting again in those previous months. If you want to post again in previous months, you can reopen that period. I'll show you that how we close and how we reopen them. And coming to closing period, yes, if we use this closing period to transfer the balances from this fiscal year to next fiscal year. So when we transfer, balances will be brought into closing period later into the opening period of next year. Okay, the significance of this opening and closing periods is that only, in order to bring the balances and to transfer the balances. Got it, Sidhu?
So we can see the transactions occur within that month, right?
Yes, you can usually see the transactions within
Okay.
this operating period. Each period will have separate transactions, right? Depending on the
Yeah.
date we select for
Yeah.
transaction. So all you have to understand here is how to design a calendar. So if it is a monthly calendar, I have used that option to design it in a monthly manner here. Okay. If I have to design it yearly, or my client requirement is to design it yearly, for only one operating period in a year, I can design it like this. Then if they want on a daily basis calendar, we can do it like this. I mean, it doesn't mean that if it is daily basis, then we can only post transactions on daily basis. If it is monthly, means we can only post transactions at starting and ending of month. It's not like that. You can post transactions on any date. It's just that the operating periods will be divided in this manner. So these are helpful to close each period. So you can stop this operating period, users from posting transactions in this operating period. You can stop users from posting transactions in this operating period without your permission. They can't post it. Just to control the users and control the accounting system, you can use these operating periods or break down these operating periods. And also in order to prepare the reports. So if you prepare the reports, you can prepare reports on the basis of your periods. And you can maintain your depreciation of assets on the basis of your fiscal calendar periods. So that's useful again. So keeping that all these things in mind, client will come up with a design of the calendar, and if client asks for the design, you can normally design that calendar here in this Dynamics. Understood? Any confusion in this? I'll show you once again. Okay. So you see here, I clicked on fiscal year 2021 and I can't see this option delete here. So I want to delete this here, but I can't see this option delete here. If I go for 2022 also, I can't see deleting the year option. But if I go for 2023, I can see this option, which means that you can only delete the latest year first. So if I delete this year 2023 here, so you can only delete this year because this is in draft status or no transactions are posted using this calendar. If there are any transactions posted using this calendar, you can't delete this year. Okay. See now I deleted that year. Now I can see delete year option available for 2022 because this is the latest now. Okay, I will also delete this one. Usually I'll delete this too. Again, we'll do that. So for 2021, we have done it on monthly basis. So I'll also create a new calendar, just a test calendar to show you once again. Okay. To create a new calendar, you have to click here on new calendar. I'm just giving it as name as test. Okay, test one. Calendar. I'm sorry for this. Okay. Then start dates and end date. So what is your start date of the calendar? What is your end date of the calendar? That you have to decide. Okay, and the name of your year. So 2021, as you can say it as 2021. In India, suppose generally if you select it from April 1st, 2021 to March 31st, 2022, we generally used to call it as fiscal year 2021-22. So like this, we used to give the name fiscal year 2021-22. Then length of the period, as you can select anything once. So earlier we have selected 1 and months, right? So it divided it into 12 periods. This time what I'll do is I'll select this period as 3. Okay. This length of period as 3 and I'm giving units as month only. And let us see how it creates a year. Okay, I'm clicking here on create. So this is the new calendar I have created. And see here fiscal year 2021 is created and you can see here operating periods are only 4 operating periods. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we given months and 3, right? For every 3 months, we have 1 operating period. So starting from 1st of April to 30th of June, we have an operating period. 1st of July to 30th of September, we have an operating period. October to December. And lastly, from January 1st to 30th, March 31st, we have operating period. So on quarterly basis, it divided the periods. So it's just a simple trick to divide the periods on quarterly basis in calendar. All right, understood. Any confusion in this? Praveen, Sidhu.
No.
Sairam, Vamshi,
No, sir.
Bala. And now I have a question for you. Okay, I want to create one more year. How can I create one more year now in this calendar? Next year.
Click on new year.
New year.
New year.
Okay, click on new year. It selected days. Okay. I want to create a weekly calendar this time. How can I do that? Anyone? First of all, I'll click here. Copy from last fiscal year will be disabled because I don't want the same format. If I click on copy from fiscal years, generally, I'll get the same format. What I have in 2020, 21, 22, I'll get the same here in this new year also, the same quarterly pattern. It just copies the same pattern to next year. But normally I'll create one more year as you see here. I don't want the same pattern. I want it weekly. Any idea how we can do it weekly? So for quarterly, we have seen 3 and months. So 3
We'll
months.
update length of period as 7 and unit as days.
Exactly. Length of period is 7 and I'm taking units as days, which means for each 7 days there will be a period, which means weekly period. Got it? Is everyone clear about this one? So if I select days here and if I select length as 7, for every 7 days it will create an operating period. For every week it will create one operating period. It works like that. So now I'll click here on create. So you can see opening period is usually the same, but top period 1 you can see operating period from 1st of April to 7th of April, 8th of April to 14th, 15 to 21. Every 7 days you have a period. The same way you will have how many weeks you have in a year, 53 weeks, 53 periods. It's actually 52 weeks only. We have one extra day here, 2 extra days actually. That 2 extra days are adjusted into the last period of 53. Usually every period will have 7 days, but if we do like that, you will be remained with 2 days. So that 2 days is adjusted into this period 53. That's all. So this is how simply we can create a weekly calendar or divide periods on the basis of weekly. There are also some manual ways how you can divide your periods. That here you see this option as divide period. So we will discuss these options tomorrow. Division of period, creation of additional closing periods, deleting a period, how to delete it. We'll discuss that tomorrow. Okay. So is everybody clear until here? You will be clear if you practice it by tomorrow. And if you have any doubts now, you can just tell me. We can discuss. There is more to discuss on this tomorrow. We will discuss that too. But until here, if that things that we have discussed, if you have any doubts, you just let me know. Anyone? Saideep? Lohit?
No.
Okay. So you got an idea, right? How to create a calendar and how to create a years in the calendar, as well as how to divide it into the periods. Okay. Create roughly some calendars, okay, with different names and try to divide the periods and do some experiments. Later, if you don't use them, delete them, or you can just say leave them like that. Or the created calendars, they will remain as so. But keep a calendar as serious calendar that you would have to use for your business. So we have created this MRF. I'll use this as a serious calendar, not a test calendar. I mean, I designed it on monthly basis. I'll design the remaining years also on monthly basis. I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, so does anybody can rewind what we have discussed today? Simply just for a minute.
Generation of number sequences.
Okay.
And in that, I mean, do we have to explain the path?
Okay. And then we have generated the number sequence and checked
Yes.
that they are generated and inserted in the proper areas where they have to. Later we have discussed about calendars and what is a fiscal calendar
Calendar pattern.
and calendar pattern and navigation to the calendar and how to create a calendar and how to create years in the calendar and how to design the periods within the calendar, the operating periods. Okay.
Do we have a brief explanation on number sequences?
We will have again. Yes,
Okay.
definitely we will have. Okay. We'll get that class after some 4 or 5 or 6 classes maybe. Okay. There are certain topics, early configuration that we have to do. Once we have done it, again we'll go back to number sequence where we have to create a journal, and for that journal we have to create a number sequence. There we'll again have brief explanation and examples.
Like under vendor payments or anything, do we have a unique code for that? I mean, you said that there will be a unique transaction ID for each and every activity, right?
Yes,
So
I'll show
under
you
payment,
that.
yeah, under vendor payments account, there will be many transactions to be
Yes.
done.
So I'm here in USMF legal entity. Okay, it's in another legal entity, not our MRF. Okay. In this, I have certain transactions that were posted already. I'll show you how number sequences will be reflecting. So I'll go to general journal usually. Just give me a minute, guys. Just let me plug in the charger quickly. I don't take much time. It's just 2 minutes of explanation. So as you can see here, we have general journals here, journal ledger and journal journals. It's not just journals. It's just an area where we post few journals. There are multiple areas where we post lot of transactions. Just show you an example by this. So whenever we create any transaction or a unique record, you will see the number, unique numbers. So that's what I want to show you. It takes a while again to load. See, we have journals here, lot of journals created, and for each journal you see journal batch number, unique numbers, right? If I
This is for
open this,
each transaction.
no, each journal. So
Journals.
within journal we have
Journal.
transaction once
Yes,
again.
yes. Within.
Okay. If I go to lines within the journal, again I have different lines and I have voucher numbers in that. So they will have again unique number codes. So there are multiple number codes like this, which will be helpful for you for maintaining the correct database of transactions as well as for tracking them later. So here you can see a voucher and you can see unique voucher number once again for this transaction. Okay. And in the same manner, for each and every activity that you do in Dynamics, you will definitely have a voucher number as well as journal number, some certain unique number codes. That's what we call as number sequences. Okay, this is for transactional data as I have shown you. Also master data. Master data means creation of vendors, creation of customers, fixed assets. Again, for them, even you will have unique numbers. So all that generation number sequences that we have generated will be useful for maintaining this unique numbers for each transaction or master record that we create in Dynamics. Okay. Did that answer your question, Susila?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, guys? Anything else from yesterday's class or today's class? If you have to discuss, just let me know. Shiva, I see you raising hand. I'll just stop this